All right, we're recording now, so nobody swear, okay? Because this will go on my YouTube page or something, and it'll, no swearing on there. Stephanie.
You know me, I can't help it.
Yeah. All right, so Stephanie, why don't you start us off? What do you have for recognition this week? Do you have anything for us, or?
I do. Let me grab my list over here. I want to start off with. Sarah's not on. I was going to welcome Sarah, but welcome Sarah if you watch this. And wanted to congratulate Jen on starting her first challenge group run all by herself. And it seems like you are getting some activity going on in there. So
yeah,
nice.
That's exciting. Yep.
And Tammy for hitting Success Club in August. Awesome work. And then Kim for selling her first challenge pack. So nice work.
All right. Yeah, and I think, we just finished up with the Team Cup stuff, and I think Brent and I were just talking about this. We haven't gotten any emails to say how everybody did yet, so, we'll share more on that. But, I know that everybody on my team sold challenge pack at least, and we had some rank advancements and some cool stuff like that. So we'll share more about that as soon as we get those details in. So.
The only other thing I want to mention, I see Brent made the September Success Club file. So if you guys can just make sure that you're updating that before our meetings, preferably Mondays, if you can do it, so that I can be ready to rock on Tuesdays with recognition.
Very good. And if you see something that one of the coaches is doing on one of our pages, I know that Stephanie's group has their own page for their challengers, and then Brent and I are running another one also with other coaches. If you see something on there that's just something you think needs to be recognized, just send a message to Stephanie, and she's going to be our recognition monitor, in charge, captain of all.
Can I get a little sash or something?
That's right. Yeah, maybe if you have a special hat that you can wear next week.
Got it.
It says like recognition on it or something like that, right? Yeah. So anyway, what I thought I would do, and again, we're just kind of playing around with this format. We want to try to keep our calls to 30 minutes if possible. Unless you guys, have questions and things like that at the end, we'll stay on as long as you need us. But we're really going to try to make these 30-minute calls and make them calls that you get some value from. So what I thought I would talk about tonight for my section is some of the professional development that I've been going over. And so let me see if I can mute some audio here. There you go. So I can hear Brent typing there. I don't know if that that's okay. So anyway, one of the things that I've actually started doing is following. Actually, I bought a personal development kind of. I don't know what you'd call it. It's kind of like buying a book or something. It's a subscription that I get to this thing called Life Leadership. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it has all these like different areas that you can get personal development in, and they have a really cool app that you can listen to in the car or whenever you want to on your iPhone or whatever. So I've been using that, for about a year now, and I listen to it typically on the way back and forth to work. Some of the stuff is okay, but every once in a while I get something that's really good that jumps out at me, and so I basically will listen to it again and take some notes. So what I have for you tonight is a talk that I listened to a couple of times now called "Learning to Encourage," and this is something that's very interesting because one of the things that I've learned that any of the personal development that you do for Beachbody, most of it can apply to other areas of your life, and that's something that I've kind of figured out. And so this is something that has helped me be a better teacher. It has helped me be a better husband and a father, and just in all areas of my life. So anytime you think about whether or not to do your personal development, I'm encouraging you to find something that works for you and dig into it, because it's something that's going to help you to be a better coach and a better person most of the time too. So anyway, this was really important to me because one of the things I realized about myself is that I am not like naturally born encourager and uplifter. I think knowing myself, I know that I struggle with that first thought of encouraging people and lifting them up. Lots of times I choose to stay silent, and I've really noticed on our page that like this is something that that Tammy is exceptional at, and I think that that's one of the main things that this profession or this personal development was talking about is that find somebody. If you find an area of your life that you're weak in, right, especially in coaching or whatever, find somebody who's an expert at it and watch what they're doing, right? Learn from other people. They put a quote out there that said that, that everyone is my superior in some way, right? If you think that you're great in everything you do, well, you're probably not, right? So, if there's always somebody that's going to do something better than you in your life. And, if you can find that person and kind of use them as a mentor, follow what they do, watch what they do, and then try to fit it in and try to work it in your life the best that you can, right? My wife is another person who's excellent at just lifting up people and seeing the best in people. Tammy, I know it's just amazing to me. Like I'll sit there and some of the posts that our challengers put on our group page, I can't think of anything positive to say to them. And again, that's something I have to work on. And I'll just sit there like, okay, I can't post anything right now. I got to give it about 10 minutes. I want to see what Tammy or Brent are going to post, and needless to say, somebody in our group, that's what makes our team, our support page so amazing, is that somebody will find something positive to say and encouraging, And you guys probably know this already, but I learned this as a teacher that, encouragement goes a lot farther than anything negative that you could put out there, I mean, it works in my classroom that if I can find things to encourage students for, and sometimes that's a struggle, but it's a skill you have to work on. It's not something you're necessarily born with. Some people are, but I know I'm not. And it's one of those things that I have to work on to make sure that I am looking for something that I can encourage everybody in, and it definitely works in my classroom. If I encourage students, 2 or 3 times, whatever, they're going to be more apt to work harder for me than students who I might get on because they're not working. It's only taken me 20 some years of teaching to figure that out, of course, but not really. I mean, elementary teaching, you guys know that little kids, and everybody reacts differently, but if you can encourage people, chances are they're gonna work harder for you. It's the same kind of thing with our challengers, that if you can encourage them, they're apt to do things greater than they thought were possible. I've seen it in our group already. I've seen it with tons of our customers that if you encourage them, even if it's something small, chances are you're going to get them to keep moving, to keep working out, to keep trying to eat better and all those things. And they're going to get better results at it too. So, and again, our job as coaches, right, is to bring out the best in others, right? And to help them to reach their goals. So this is something that's perfect if you can work on it. So if you're struggling with this like I am, right, you got to practice it. So I don't know if you guys know that, but in our team, I'd really try to be encouraging as possible. And of course, I don't think you can post too many times. When a challenger posts something up there that they're struggling with or something that they overcame, but they're still struggling with something, whatever, I don't think we can have too many posts below there. I think that's something that we're learning as coaches that, for Brent and I, the bigger team is kind of working good because we'll have people that'll comment that we haven't heard from in weeks, and So that seems to be working out pretty good right now. This is something else too that really hits home for me, because this is not just a skill or a technique that you can do and expect people to buy it, right? This is something that you have to work on enough so that it becomes your heart, right? Now I know, like, when I see Tammy's posts and Brent's posts and other coaches, Irma and on our team, it's like you guys have figured that out. When I read your posts, I'm like, yeah, that's their heart, And sometimes, that doesn't always come. I feel like it doesn't come across for me. So again, it's just something that you have to work on until it becomes your first thought, your first thing that when you see one of those posts or anything, anybody in your life, your family, whatever, how are you going to encourage and lift them up, today, and make this team a better place to be, right? And make people feel like, yes, I can do this. I can do this. I've made a little bit of progress, and look, somebody noticed it and they're encouraging me, and I can do this. And that's all we really want them to do, right? Is to understand and really feel the way that we felt at some point in our lives that made us choose to keep doing this, right? Is that we've figured out that, what, I can do this. And it's the same way with coaching, right? Right? And we start off a little bit, like for me, I started off like, I didn't go great guns out of the gate, and it took me a while before I realized that I can do this, So basically that's my thing. And I wanted just to leave with one quote that I heard in the PD that I wanted to share. And it's talking about humility, right? And some people don't, I've worked with people like this, over the years, that some people don't lift up others because they're afraid that somehow that's going to humiliate them or make them lesser of a person, right? We've all probably experienced people like that. People who don't give out encouragement because they're afraid that it's going to somehow make them look bad in the long run, right? But it's a cool quote that it's just sticking in my head, is that humility is not thinking less of yourself, right? It's thinking of yourself less, right? So that's kind of what was kind of playing in my head as I looked through our team page. And really, as a coach, that's really what, if people can feel that and coming from you, that you're there for them and you're not there because you want to get the commission or whatever, then you're going to be a good coach. People are going to respect you. They're going to join you. They're going to follow you. They're going to listen to what you post and read what you post and believe it because they can see that coming through in your posts. Okay? That's my motivational speech for the day, right? All right. So the next part, we wanted to have Brent talk to us a little bit, and we're gonna try to keep these just short little snippets. So if you have something to write with, you may want to get that and be ready, because what Brent's going to tell you right now, you can actually use right after the call, right, Brent?
You got it.
And I know we were good. You just tell me what you want me to do here, and I'll show the.
Yeah. Do you want to? It's up to you. If you want to just, I'm going to call you Lloyd Carr now.
Yeah. Just rambling on and on and on and.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yes, you good points there. Parents are rolling. Emails from parents rolling in here from first day.
Nice.
All good, but just like, man, just. So, do you want to split this? I was just going to go over some basics, just with like a yard
Sure.
sale. Just,
Yeah, why don't you just talk me through what you want to do here, and then
Okay.
I will try to show it on my screen here. Okay.
Yeah, it's perfect. So one of the things I've just noticed is that obviously, a lot of people have gone to secret groups now, like some of the bigger groups, or and once you're in I've noticed like a fair amount of my groups that I'm in are in here.
Sorry.
Is that to you?
Yeah, it's me, but I got to get out of my.
You're fine. So
Stupid
I
box.
can talk to it. So basically, I've noticed that a lot of people have gone to secret groups, like, and so if you're in the secret group, it's no difference. But then, you'll find, like, I think Tim mentioned a while ago, like, where you found like Kelly Havlin, she was in what wasn't it, like Carmel or something? I used to be in a couple Indiana yard sales and had some success years ago, but then they're not even searchable now, which means they've gone. So they've gone obviously secret, so they're not searchable on Facebook. So at the top tab, I was just going to show everyone, I'm noticing now that there's just, even though a lot of groups are going secret, I think with Facebook, social media going so much bigger now, I'm finding that there's more closed groups popping up. I think people are knowing that it's that easy to get like, you know, a team of people to create a group and then add friends, and you can have 2,000-3,000 people in a group in a relatively short time.
Right.
So what I've been doing, and this is, I mean, I'm just share. So you guys see it, that obviously under search Facebook, the top tab there, what I do is I'll usually literally, some things I do, I mean, you can pick your major cities. I mean, I'll pick like a, you know, a metropolitan area, you know, whether Indianapolis or Cincinnati or, you know, sometimes I'll get on like I'll Google like another tab for a city, and I'll zoom in and I'll find some suburban cities. And if Tim, I mean, you could just punch in, oh boy, like Cleveland, I don't know, like Cleveland, you know, Cleveland yard sale. Watch Nothing Pot, no. So
Yeah, really, I don't. Okay.
So for example, so look, so those are communities. I just want, and this is kind of, I just want to go over the basics. So obviously communities, community nothing, and I want to just stress too, that public group, I don't recommend public groups only because they go in your news feed. And so what was it like, well, 2.5 years, when I was doing this, when I started like right in and just learning, Amy, my wife, was like, do you know your posts are all popping up in my news feed? And I was like, I didn't know they were public. I was in so many groups just learning from Tommy and Vince. And so I remove myself from all the public and I remove the posts. So, because that basically public is anybody. You join, then it can go in anybody's news feed. So as Tim was mentioning, you scroll down there, see others closed group. There's Cleveland, Tennessee. You've got right there the potential. I'm just throwing this, so what I will do is I will, you know, request to join those. And so that's a great way. I mean, again, this is just free. I look at this resourcefully. This is free ways to connect with people on social media. I know we've got some balance of coaches here who haven't gone. I don't know if you guys have all gone through your, you know.
I was going to say, are you joining that?
Heck yeah.
Brent
I don't see
join
any of our coaches in there. So we're good. Brent, tell us how to find your coaches, right?
So basically what you'll see there, yeah, that's what I was going to say too. So when you join a group, if you go to request it, it will say, see where it says admin, where like that Scott Allen, it'll say, usually there's another section where it'll say like friends that are in it. I notice occasionally like some of the ones I'm in overseas, like I'm just in random ones, I'll notice like Danielle's in a yard sale. And so I can see it, so I won't join the group. Or other coaches, I mean, if there's other people in other groups, I don't join it. So what I would say is if you see somebody on our team, I mean, there's so many out there. I mean, I thought sometimes I'm like, I used to think that like it's going to dry up and there's never going to be any groups and we're going to have too many coaches and I'm telling you, you just have to take the time. I mean, just because you search for that, did that, Carmel? Are you?
Yeah. But see, there's nobody in here who's for some reason.
Yeah, so another example, I mean, right there. And so the only thing I want to share, does anybody have any questions? I don't want to assume that anybody knows what this is. I mean, just kind of going over the nuts and bolts. And obviously it's pending. So,
yeah,
you know, Tim you get a notification when the group's set to go. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Tim, if you want to go to one of the Holland ones, it'll pull up that I'm in it. So you'll be able to show them what he's talking about.
This one right here?
Yeah, should be.
If you hover, and that's what I was going to say too. The other reason I know is when I hover, I don't have to click on the group because I can see people's profiles. And
oh my gosh, look at all my friends that are in this group. Here's one of our customers, Tammy Keepers.
Yeah, Amy told me like 2 years ago, if you ever post in there, I'll kill you. So I was like, oh. I'm in all these Holland groups. I've never posted them one time.
The lady I teach with right here, Donnell. Yeah. Look, Jennifer's in there.
So yeah, so basically, like you guys can see, I mean, I don't do
Another Beachbody coach, Kelly Holst, right?
Yep.
And Valerie, she's a Beachbody coach. Here's a teacher at West Ottawa. Yeah, so you can see, yeah, all of your friends.
Yeah. So I mean, this is just one way. The other thing is, you know, organization. One of the things is like Tim and I have talked about this before with yard sales. Is sometimes you'll find you'll get booted for no apparent reason. So, not necessarily because you posted something inappropriately, but just basically like because, you know, maybe you posted too much. And so one of the ways just for record keeping, since Tim just brought up a good point, on the left hand, I'm pointing, it's so funny, Tim, I'm sitting here pointing to the screen as if you can see that.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking to my screen like, oh yeah, do that. Like, yeah. So under favorites there, or under, do you see where it says, or scroll up on the left-hand side. Oh, sorry, go down to groups. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Those 5-year-olds killed me today. So yeah, next year I always click more there. And then what'll happen is, this is what I find is that it's obviously, you can see that what your most recent groups. What I do is I start down, I'll scroll down, like just keep scrolling down, and I'll go to my last, basically Facebook automatically filters chronologically the groups you've been to. So if you scroll to the bottom, those are going to be groups that you've visited least. So I always
the last time you, right?
Yeah, or the ones that, like the ones towards the top are the ones you've been to most recent.
Right.
Is that what okay.
Yeah.
So when you go to the bottom, so then I'll go to the bottom, and then of course, and it's it's kind of a check and balance, a little bit of like what Tim did, just joining a group, and then it's a balance of going back, and when you're added, I don't recommend, I mean, I wouldn't post right away when you're added to a group, but, a lot of, I mean, I still get sales from friend. I mean, there's people that contact me, colleagues, or just like out of the blue, like yesterday. I mean, things happen, but a lot of my market is really not with people I know. And that's just how I personally, that's how I prefer. I mean, I'm okay with that. I like running my business like that. So I guess what I would tell you guys is this is just a great way when you have gone through that warm market and you feel like, you've tapped the well dry. It never hurts to go back and check in. I mean, I still check in with people, or, see how things, obviously like their stuff, and just, keeping conversations. But I think that this is, know that you don't have to advertise for this, and these yard sales are just, there's so many out there, and it's just sitting down and just kind of, if you I really think, I know Tim and I have shared in our team endurance group, like our script, and I really don't veer from my script. Generally, and I rotate pictures and things like that, but I typically keep the same script. And so in future calls, our thoughts were, I don't want, again, keeping it within a half hour, and what our goal is here for the team call is just to show you guys those two little tidbits, which obviously, one, how to find groups really and filter for closed groups, and two, how to really make sure you're not over posting. Yeah.
So I think next week, if we can talk about the post that you use, and then we can, so by next week, why don't we have everybody on the call? Why don't you try to find at least, 10 groups that you can try to get into by next week's call. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen because it's embarrassing. Anybody have any questions then? Thanks, Brent, for doing that. Any questions for Brent or Stephanie or me or anybody else? Maybe you have a question about Irma's hair and how she does it. I don't know.
I do have a question.
Okay.
How do you search your last post in the garage sale, or how far back it went to find it again?
Yep. I can show that actually, Brent, if you want to talk through it here.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. So that's a good, one of the features that Facebook obviously added recently, which I like, is Tim actually, I think, pointed this out, but now, how there's, when Tim just, we'll go to pick any group, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There only used to be in most groups, besides smiling children on the first day of school. So yeah, pick North Mesquite. Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably one of my best groups that I've been in, and it's huge now though. It's like there's 16,000. So many times when I post on here, nobody will even see my post because it just goes down so fast. So
yeah. So you can see there that search this group feature is relatively new. So what I'll do is, Tim, you can even search, like, sometimes I'll just search like a keyword, like, oh my gosh, I'll type the word like challenge or just fitness, and usually my post will pop up. I mean, in some of my running groups that I've been in, like I put, I mean, I was in one. You'll
There's
find,
other Beachbody coaches in here too. So
yeah. And
yep. Ha! They even stole my script there.
yeah.
Yeah, but look, they got comments on it.
Yeah. When and where? Send me info. Oh, you know what? These two people at the top have already talked to me.
So
No, see, I wouldn't do this. What this girl's doing here, I would not, I wouldn't post all that information right there. I'd want to message them.
Yeah.
and that's what we can talk. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's this is amateur. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, amateur. It's unfortunate. Bad coaches do stupid things. So and wreck it for everyone. So yeah, I think that's good. I mean, I think if we apply those two rules, hey, there's
Chelsea.
that's yeah,
But notice I don't have any comments on here.
that's good.
That's
That
because
was
you didn't post how much it was in your comments. You should
It
have.
is. It's right here. But
Yeah.
they don't, you know what I found is a lot of people don't scroll down and look
they
at
don't. I can't even tell you how many people I've been in phone or people I talk to, and they're like, "How much is it?" And I'm like, "It was in the post."
Yeah.
But I don't think people click that down button. But I still, I think, and again, we talked. I think putting the
Then you can delete this before I would post another one, I would delete this one.
Yep, I would do the exact same. That's awesome. So does that make sense, Irma? You can search.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then-
and that's what I was trying to do, is delete some of my old ones, but I couldn't find it. I had to keep going, and I didn't know how to search it. So
if you're searching and you can't find it, like Tim just saw, you'll see there's so many other coaches posting things. It's not like they're going to kick you. I mean, it could be so far down there because there's so many posts above it. I wouldn't go scrolling down. If you don't see it like relatively new, so you haven't posted, in the last week or two, so you're like, oh, did I post in that group or did I not? And
Right.
there, just know. I mean, the chances are either you didn't, or two, the group just, they didn't kick you out of the group, but the admins just deleted the post for some reason.
right, exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
You see,
that's helpful.
the big news from Norma and Mike?
Yeah.
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 That's cool. It's like,
No, what was it?
what was it?
Yeah.
They're having a baby.
Oh, that's what I thought it was gonna be. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I know, me too. As soon as she
Yeah.
posted, I'm like, man, I hope, I hope that's what it is and not something
Yeah.
bad. But
Yeah.
all right, so that's our thing. Any other questions, real quick?
Do we know when Super Saturday is next?
No. We could look it up, but I don't. It's the next one's in September sometime, isn't it, Brent? Or
October, isn't it?
You know what? Hang on.
I think it's November.
because I know Sagi is coming to Frankenmuth,
Oh,
but I've already seen Sagi and I've worked out with him, so we're like buds. I don't know. I don't want
whatever.
to show him up, show up and make him feel bad about his physique. So.
I'm wondering, did you see Anita moved back from Texas back to Grand Rapids? So I'm wondering if she'll do.
She probably, it's
Oh,
like
they
that
should-
coach out here in Grand Haven, who's like a 5-star diamond or whatever. They actually have a board that decides how to run the Super Saturdays in Grand Rapids because there's so many bigger coaches in the area. So she actually talked to me at Summit about doing a Super Saturday here in Grand Haven. So,
Anita did?
no,
Oh.
I can't ever remember her name, Brent. What's her name?
Oh man, I fumbled. You made me nervous.
Yeah, sorry.
You said
But she runs a fit club here in town. She's a stay-at-home mom. She works, she does 2 fit clubs at the church just down the street from me, but she does them during the day. No.
yeah. Super Saturday is October 17th.
So I don't know if we'll talk more about whether or not we want to do another one like, here, or if we want to, if we want to go somewhere. It's fun to go to those big ones, but Brent and I found that a lot of hype and not a lot of substance there, but
Yeah.
I don't know. You might get
Well, I
fired.
have a wedding that day. They need to move it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure Carl will do that.
Yeah.
I'll
It's in
call
the
him.
morning, Steph. It's in the morning. The wedding will be later in the day. The important stuff for the wedding is later in the day, right? When you're.
It's a bonfire wedding at her parents' like 30 acres. Yeah.
That sounds. That sounds interesting.
There's your Super Saturdays hosted there.
Exactly. All right. So I'm going to stop the recording now.